Let's see. I think we're live now. Just got to let everybody know that I am live real quick. Remove the embeds. What's the last place I'm going to here? There. Hello, 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 everybody that's coming in, hanging out. I got to post one more place on Instagram because I am posting more and more on TikTok and Instagram now. But for everybody who's coming in, whether you're a VOD watcher or whether you're coming in, you know, at the start of the stream, how are you? We are live. I am streaming the Fukuoka Japan Championships tonight. So this timer up here, it's about 45 minutes until the stream is supposed to start for the Japan Championship. And I figured, you know, we would spend a little bit of time opening up some EBO3 packs before the championship because your boy here won locals today. So I have some EBO3 packs and a winner pack as well that will open up before the Japan Championship starts. How do I find you on Instagram? I am just Atrocious TCG on Instagram. I'm Atrocious TCG everywhere but on Twitch and Twitter. TikTok, I'm Atrocious TCG. Instagram, I'm Atrocious TCG. YouTube, I'm Atrocious TCG. But Twitter and Twitch, I am Atrocious Jake. 2:45 a.m. Oh my gosh, don't stay up too late. The VOD will be public if you got to go to bed. I can never fault people for going to bed. Yo, Edu, what's going on? Thank you for the congratulations. I've been playing Blackbeard. I can show you guys what deck list I was playing. Hold on. Let's go here. Ow, Morticia, you cannot grip my leg. You cannot grip my leg. Please. She's just being cute and fun. You know, very nice, but she's gripping my leg. Oh, I gotta scoot this over for you guys. Should be this screen. Yeah, this is the list I was playing. Hey, thank you for the follow. Yo, what's up, Daddy Dorcas? How are you? This is the list that I was playing today. I'm trying out 2 Shiryus and 2 Burgess because I feel like Shiryu's relatively solid. But I don't know if it's better than just Burgess. Because all the players that top with Blackbeard don't play the Shiryu, but I'm like, the Shiryu's pretty solid. I feel like it's a decent card. But in the times that it's not, like, useful, it sucks. Oh, you work the overnight shift. Well, I'm happy to help you out during the overnight shift. Happy to help you out. But yeah, this is the list that I was playing today. So I've been playing with it the last couple locals. I think in the last 2 locals, I'm 8-1 in total. 8-1. Yeah. Only lost to a blue-green Luffy, which I think was a super winnable game for me. I just made like a super, super big key mistake at the end of that one. All right. But I hope everybody's having a good day. Thank you so much for everybody who's coming in, hanging out with us this evening. The Japan Championship should be interesting. We might see some news on OP17, like the final leader reveal. Not 100% sure yet, but it could be that. They did say that there was going to be some sort of news coming out today. And by today, I mean Sunday, wherever you are in the world. And it is technically Sunday in Japan. It's Sunday in Europe. And it's almost Sunday in all of North America. In most of North America, it is Sunday, but not on the West Coast. But Pinpon, thank you so much for following on Twitch. You lost the final match against Teach? No. Hope it was close, though. Didn't math out final attacks properly. I need to practice more on that. No, lethal math is no joke. Like, it's a real thing that you got to know in the One Piece card game. Lethal math is a real thing you got to know. There's some good videos out there. I think like Real Joshua has a good video. Who else has a good video? There's a couple people that have like really good videos. But I did save my packs to be able to open with you guys on the stream. We'll start out with the winner pack here. The winner pack, I am hoping for Valentine, just so then I can put it in my Crocodile deck. I know Gorgon Sisters is a pretty penny. Chaka and Pell is one of them. And then I think there's Kiku Nojo as one of them. So I think it's like Kiku Nojo, 1-drop, Gorgon Sisters, Valentine, and Chaka and Pell. We're just hoping for not Chaka and Pell, chat. Here we go. Oh, I guess I didn't open it all the way on the bottom. Yeah, there we go, Valentine. Nice. Cool. I can put it in my max rarity Crocodile deck. Or it's not technically max rarity. It's not technically max rarity because I don't have the store championship Crocodiles. But it's max rarity enough to me. You know? Yo, what's going on, Zebulon? But yeah, that's my winner card there. You watched Real Joshua before. Got to study it more. I mean, he's a great creator. He's very creative, too. He's very creative, especially if you like having fun deck building. He is an incredible deck builder. Yo, Squash, what's good? What's the play for OP17? Obviously, Don Krieg. What's the play for OP17? Probably Dracul Mihawk, to be honest. With the starter deck in OP17, that's pretty crazy. Yo, Game Night, congrats on the dub. Getting the win. It was crazy, chat, because in our tournament, the top four, so I was number 1, obviously, but second place, I played in round 2 and won. Third place, I believe third place was the player that I beat in the final round, and then fourth place was the player that I beat in the third of 4 rounds. So the entire top 4 was either myself or people I played against in the tournament. There's not many times that I feel like that's happened before. Hey, Chan, what's going on? How are you? But these are some EBO3 packs that we got, chat. I am still searching for my EBO3 SP that I never got. So maybe today is the day with these packs. We got Yamato here. Yamato Rare and Koala SR. So, okay. It's an SR. I'm pretty sure I have a playset of everything already in this set. That is not, well, actually, I think the only thing I'm missing is like a regular Secret Rare Uta, like a single one. Just a single one. I'm going to have bulk. Katakuri best deck, 16.5. That'd be interesting. I'd be really curious if Katakuri was the best deck in 16.5. Will continue to be a Sanji main leader. Build 2 Whitebeard decks, 1 Marco, the other Red Ace. I feel like Marco is like really flying under the radar for people. I know Eggman was testing it a little bit. I don't know exactly what his findings were. I think he had a lot of fun playing it. We got Charlotte Pudding as our first rare, chat, in this pack. And then here we go. It is SP Nami. No. But if you're curious on what we're doing tonight, chat, Japan Championship starts in about 35.5 minutes. We're just buying some time, letting people come in. How many packs so far? So I got 8 packs in total, and this is the 3rd of the 8. This is the 3rd of the 8. Are you a full-time creator? I am, Reens Road. This is my full-time job. I am a full-time creator. I literally play the One Piece card game for a living. Well, it's more like I talk about the One Piece card game for a living, and I enjoy playing it. I'm not a very good player, but I like to think that I'm a great commentator, at least. That's up for you guys to decide. We got Carrot here. Carrot as our first rare. And a sugar. Dang, nothing great yet. You opened 8 packs of 16. Yo, alternate buggy's pretty good. I don't have that one. OP17 meta will be wide open. I think it's too early to tell if the OP17 meta will be wide open. I think in order to really determine that, we need to see, one, how the starter decks play out. But two, we need the full set list. In my opinion. In my opinion. Any predictions on a lower tier deck that will show up? I feel like there's a decent shot of starter deck Luffy and Ace top cutting in this tournament, especially if they top 16, just simply because it got top 4 in the Treasure Cups last week, and it might be something that catches on for people, especially because starter deck Luffy and Ace has some good matchups, but I don't know. I don't know. Yo, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying my vids, Reens. I try hard on them. Yeah, thank you, Chan. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Isuka here. We got Isuka as our first rare, and behind the door. Woo! Okay, I'll take it. Chad, I just remembered that this is my 4th copy now of Robin. I have never owned a playset of 7-cost Robins, but now I have a playset of 7-cost Robins. So, poggers, even though I have... Oh, no, I don't have the alternate art of Robin. I don't. Still got 4 packs to go. OP17 Shanks is insane. I'm trying to stay a little tame on OP17 Shanks because we don't... Again, like, we don't know the set list. Like, he obviously is a slash-type leader, and he's going to work very well with the slash-type synergies that exist in the game. But, like, the red-haired pirate stuff, I think, will be interesting to see if it's good or not. You know? Trying to make the Yonkos the strongest in the game, like the show. I mean, there were, like, several... whatchamacallit, 10 costs. Several 10 costs in the reveals today. All right. Insolent Fool. Rush Luffy a lot. Think it has legs. Wait, rush Luffy and what? Carlos. Also, Carlos, hope you're having a good night. Linlin, I wouldn't mind a Linlin alternate art. I don't think I have one yet. Also, Caden, hello. Don't know if I said that. Any thoughts on hidden leaders in OP17? I think we need to see the full set list, but I think the Big Mom Pirates, Linlin could be really interesting, especially if some of the cards that end up getting revealed in OP17 have like draw effects that are maybe type locked, hopefully. But here we go. We got Linlin. Dang, am I going to have no hits in here besides SRs? I still have 3 packs to go. Oh, the ST Luffy. Nope, you're playing with stuff, so you're banned. Nope, you're banned. I'm kicking you out of the office. Come here, girl. She's not supposed to knock things over. Yo, Luis, what's good? What's good, brother? Yo, Sloth, hello. Stoked for Linlin. First introduction to card destruction besides the starter deck law. Linlin is way better than Gecko. I think it's interesting because I think they both will abuse the Thriller Bark engines. Are you going to play Naruto? I will familiarize myself on how to play Naruto. I don't know how deep I want to get into it. Glavin, what's good? I will play Naruto, though, because I want Bandai to call me to cast Naruto tournaments. But I will learn how to play it, for sure. For sure, chat. We got Bonnie here. Glavin also, thanks for following. We got Bonnie. What's behind door number 3? Smoker. Or I'm sorry, Tashigi. Still not like an alternate art or anything. Still no SPs, by the way, in EBO3 for me. I've opened up 4 boxes and now 8 packs. I've hit 4 liters, no SPs. 4 liters, no SPs. I still got 2 packs to go in this. And I do know what was pulled out of all the other packs at the shop. There was an alternate art and a base secret rare. So there's a chance that this is only a 2-hitter. But this is also a chance that this could be a leader or a SP. Or if there's an SP, then it has to be right here. Because it's not a leader. I can see the back of the card. Well, there's a leader. Not the leader I was talking about, though. You got Bonnie and Lim. Oh, no, Chad. I'm in shambles. Won the local, but last pack magic? Oh, no. Oh, no, Chad. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Please. 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 Stream is live in 30 minutes, chat. The Japan Championships. All right. Let's see what's behind here. See what's behind here, chat. This is the last pack. We're opening up by prizing Drew from the local today before the Japan Championship starts. So we got some EBO3. What do you think the blue leader OP17 is? I'm going to say rocks. I think it's rocks. All right, chat, we got Hina. My last chance probably for a while of SP. Or just, I mean, it could be like anything in here. Manga rare? Ah. Dang. Well, I got 4 SRs out of 8 packs. That's solid, I guess. That's cool. At least, okay. I can't complain too much because now I have a playset of Robins, which I did not have before, but womp womp. Womp womp, chat. Won a heroin battle, got 5 packs winning. Pulled Perona SP. Some people are just favorites of whatever divinity is out there. Some people are just favorites. I can't be as lucky as some people. But chat, the championship is supposed to start in about 30 minutes. If you did not see, chat, if you did not see in the Discord server, there were a lot of reveals that happened. Do I not have Discord on this screen? Maybe it's on this screen. I do. There we go. There were a lot of reveals happen. There was also this reveal. So, chat, there was a reveal that happened. A nice little green card. But this green card is kind of really interesting, actually. It's a 4-cost, 3,000 power animal and red-haired pirates type of character. So this is something you got to think about when you're building OP17 green Shanks, right? Part of that red-haired pirates type. It's a blocker with 1k counter, but on play, you KO a opponent's rested character with a cost of 6 or less. Any character that's rested of a cost of 6 or less. For 4 Dawn, just go ahead and KO a 6. That's pretty good. a lot of times we don't really see like 4-cost characters explicitly KO 6 costs or less. It happens from time to time. But this one definitely has a power distortion to it, right? It's a 3K player. Chat, how do you guys feel about this card on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being really good? And this is on the on-play effect, too. It's not like Pedro, which is on the on-KO effect, I'm pretty sure. This is the on-play. Shamrock's a good candidate for the blue leader? Maybe. I don't know. Yo, Dean, what's good? What deck is the move? You have Rosie, but not sure if that is the one to go with. I would say blue-green Luffy. Green slop, I'll see you in OP18. I think that's a little bit too quick to react. We don't even have the full set list yet, Moth. Power creep going up for sure. 8. Got some 6, 7s. What's up, Maro Maro? I think it's a solid card. I think it's pretty solid. This has to feel like a 4-don play, you know? This has to be. It has to be. BY Teach will be good next set. I have no idea, to be honest. I don't really know how good things are going to be in the next set, chat, just simply because we don't have the full set list. I kind of like having the full set list before I make a hardcore decision on on how a deck is positioned in the meta. You'll probably want to play something else. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Rami. Like, it's good and it's an interesting effect, but what if, like, would you want to play something else? I don't know. Hope they stay a bit relevant. Hey, playing the BDIF in any game. Well, Black Crocodile last week got top 8, I think it was. Or no, top 4. In the Japan Championships. You're holding that card for a late game move. I don't know. Because, like, when your opponent typically has, like, rested 6 costs. When your opponent has rested 6 costs, you're typically trying to play, like, other bigger bodies, like 7s or 8s, right? Because you're a green deck, typically. Or maybe, I mean, I guess you could use something like Trafalgar Law. I don't know. It's interesting. It's like an odd thought, in a sense. I don't think you guys can hear my cat, but my cat is having a true panic attack. I mean, I can't fault anybody in any card game for playing what is ever considered the BDIF, because especially right now in One Piece, right? Like, if you take the BDIF to a regional right now and you top 64 and get a BOA, that's like $3,000 USD in your pocket for a top 64. So, like, I can't really fault anybody for playing, like, one of the best decks. I should start playing the best deck more often. Shanks OP17 going to be OP Bill with stun lock with leader. I do think the Shanks leader effect is really good. I will say that. I don't have, like, the strongest of strong opinions on the deck as a whole, but I think it's got probably the best start out of the gate out of all the decks. Kaido has the best potential out of the new leaders. That's interesting to say when Shanks exists. Yeah, new Tenko Shanks, I think it is going to be good in Mihawk. I don't know if it's better than Law and Beppo, though, because Law and Beppo will stun things. But I guess, like, in combination with your leader effect, I guess Shanks... Well, actually, no. Shanks restanding Dawn's pretty good because you can also, like, tap 1 Dawn to restand, and then you have 4 active Dawn. And then you could go in from there and use, like, Electrical Luna or something. But Law and Beppo is a pure, like, halt at times. Are regionals hard to get into? Kind of. You have to be ready as soon as the signups open. But it also depends on the event. Like, a regional is easier to get into than the Flame Fruit Coliseum. Oh, they started the stream. All right, let's go over here. Let's go to this full screen. I'm also going to turn off the timer app that I have. Let me just go back here and turn off the timer. There we go. There you are. Shanks was supposed to be film. Friend bubbles out because he isn't playing BDIF. I'm trying to change him for OP17. I mean, I started playing a good deck in OP16, Blackbeard, and it's been going pretty okay for me. I felt pretty good on Blackbeard. I know Blackbeard's not the best deck, but it's a top 5 deck that tops often. So I feel like if I put in the work, I'll be able to probably top 64. Although my next regional is Oklahoma, and that's going to be starter deck meta. And I'm pretty sure that Blackbeard is a bad matchup in a Mihawk. So that's not going to be great. Carlos, why are you saying my name? I know none of the 10 costs are leader locked, which is wild. You stall with the 4 costs like a double Borsalino play. 2 blockers, 2 life. Could be good into Goofy or Ace Luffy starter deck. Oh, it's probably pretty good into Goofy, right? Because, you know, they turn their stuff sideways all the time, and you can just blow it up with that blocker. So it's probably, yeah, it's probably good in that matchup. But I'm trying to think if you, like, would you need... I mean, again, it's hard to tell without, like, the entire set list on if it's actually good or not. Yo, Grass Dog, hello. Leader is Bonnie, but a bit better. Is it better than Bonnie, though? Because I don't know, because they do different things. They do both have to tap 1. Oh, more like winning, Jake? I lost in the packs, that's for sure. I do agree that Purple Yellow Robin should have been Baroque Works. 100%. Or, well, I think she should have been Baroque Works. Well, I guess she's technically former Baroque Works at the actual picture. You got the cope for Kata. Hey, sometimes in a when the starter, like in a meta, sometimes like the unknown sauce is a big deal. Yo, John, hello. Red green or blue green for OKC? I could be convinced to play red green, I think. Because I think some of that starter deck stuff for red green is actually so sick. Anybody buying the OP13 dip crazy low lately? Is there a dip in OP13 right now? Let's just like, let's do also high to low. Oh, only $400. Where there was a reprint in OP13. There was a reprint that happened, so it would make sense why a lot of things are dipping. I haven't really touched my toes in this, but interesting. I don't like buy and sell cards like that crazy, so I didn't really think about how OP13 was dipping. Seeing what Black's Luffy support ends up looking like. Me too. Because all we got... Well, I mean, I guess Black Luffy has like some of the most cards that have been revealed so far, right? Because you got the Loki Secret Rare, you got the SR Luffy. Now you have the Usopp Searcher. Kuzan and starter deck meta for sure. I think Kuzan is interesting, but I'm not totally convinced that it's going to be like a deck that I need to worry about as much. Like, I probably need to know what game plan I need to have against Kuzan, but I don't know if I'm convinced yet that Kuzan is going to be something that I'm going to have to like, because if I have to take a loss somewhere, right? Because in a jungle, hypothetically, if we have a jungle meta in the starter deck meta for OKC, let's say, in a jungle meta, you have to take some losses somewhere, and you have to be okay with accepting what losses those are. And I think if I lose to Kuzan, it's fine. And if I just see a Kuzan, it's whatever. Where'd you put Cat on a tier list with the new starter deck support? No idea. I haven't tested it. It definitely gets buffed, but I don't know if I'm convinced that Kata can like break the top 10 decks. I know Sabo, like, man, Sabo had such good potential and it was so nice, but it's just been so downhill since OP13 released, basically. Oh, so if anybody doesn't know what a jungle meta means that there are a lot of decks that you could potentially face. So there's not a clear best deck in format and like what we call like a tier 0 format where like this deck is really, really good and you know everything else is way down here. A jungle meta is where there are a lot of decks between like here and here, right? And so in a tournament, you could either face 5 Namis during your Swiss round, or you could face 7 decks, right? 7 unique decks. So a jungle meta is where there's a lot of decks that are viable that are running around, and you don't know what you're going to match up into. Japan does not have the starter deck. So, chat, here's another thing that I should let you guys know on. Japan got the starter decks on Saturday or Friday, one of the two. It is not legal for this tournament. Similar to the West, the starter decks have to be legal for a week before they become major championship legal. So this tournament is going to be non-starter deck format. It's going to be the meta that we're currently playing in. Next week, though, will be starter deck meta. I'm really curious to see what happens next week. I should also pull up... real quick before we get going, Eggman events. Pull up the deck builder in case. I feel like I'm pretty solid on the cards in these tournaments right now in this format, but just in case. I don't fully agree with you, Wince. I don't think that jungle metas are necessarily healthy metas. I think that jungle metas are... It's hard to tell. So, like, I do enjoy a jungle meta because I like facing a variety of decks. I like seeing, you know, a variety. But in preparing for a major tournament, jungle metas are kind of a nightmare because it is almost impossible to predict, right? On what you're going to face, on what the meta is. A lot of top players that you can ask and talk to actually prefer when there's like 2 or 3 decks within the format that everybody is playing, and that's it. Because it feels like it comes down a little bit more to the play of the individual players rather than like matchup roulette of like oh man, I whiffed on it's starting chat. That I whiffed on, you know, hitting the right matchups in a jungle meta, and I just hit 4 auto losses in a row to random decks, and my tournament run is over. But, you know, like in a 2 to 3 deck meta, you're like, okay, I know that I'm going to face this single deck for at least half of my Swiss rounds, and I feel very confident that I'm able to beat that. Yeah, the starter decks just came out in Japan, Gandhi. They just came out. Chat, I'm going to make a prediction of what I think is going to win today. I think Teach is going to win today. I think Black Yellow Teach is going to win today. The winners of the championship so far in OP16 have been Purple Anel, and Blue Green Luffy. I'm going to say it's Teach's turn. Oh, 100% of the jungle metas are much more enjoyable for like content purposes. 100%. 110%. Especially at a level that I like currently create content on. If you're like a OP16 grinder or something, where you're like literally a top player in the game and you're trying to make content that is so valuable to make people improve in the fastest way possible, then jungle metas are a little bit more difficult. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like a solved meta, Henry. It has to be more so of like a meta that can be predicted. It's kind of give and take, and you know, everybody has different opinions, and there's no right or wrong opinions, I feel like, when it comes to it. Krieg could be a viable deck, or much more viable deck in the format if Purple Anel didn't exist. Because that matchup is abysmal. But I don't think Purple Anel has gone enough to where you can do it. I would love to see a Krieg, though. I am not prepared to cast a Krieg. So that would be good practice for me. I also need to get the... I need to get the snipping tool ready. Need to get the snipping tool for the meta distribution and whatnot. Oh, yeah, I mean, I agree, Henry. Yeah, locals was hard in OP13 for a majority of people. Unless you had like an overly competitive locals where like you have people that top regionals and things like that and are traveling to tournaments. For the casual player, OP13 was very hard. It's kind of interesting, Wince, because I think that players should net deck top level players personally, because I think like for me personally, I always net deck. I know my strengths and weaknesses. My strength is being able to watch a deck excel and then be able to understand it a little bit more. My weakness is deck building. So why would I not like just have somebody else deck build for me, and then I watch games with that deck and then maybe play it myself a bit to like fully realize and understand what the deck does and its power, you know. I think, and it's also like for a majority of people, the majority of people can't commit enough time to be like a great deck builder and player. There are only a few deck builders that we actually have in the card game that I would consider to be a deck builders. Red, yellow, Sabo upset win. No, I do not need a Metafy. I don't need a Metafy. Yo, Maxim, nice on the local win. There is a charm to winning with a sort of like off-meta deck at locals. Or just any tournament, really. They're doing a lot of intro stuff than they have in the past. I feel like at this point, we've seen like the attendance numbers. We've seen maybe like a meta distribution. Oh, there we go. I do have a Patreon, Henry, but I'm really bad at Patreon. So it looks like, Chad, that this is going to be 460 players and only top 8. So we only have 3 rounds that will stream tonight. Should be top 8, top 4, and the finals. Yo, I believe in you, Squash. I'm your #1 fan in Oklahoma. Except me. I guess I'm my own #1 fan. Yo, Reborn. They haven't shown anything yet. This is all the introduction stuff that they're doing. Is Gavin allowed to play cards again yet? I don't know. I haven't talked to Gavin in a hot second. With Koala? Who? Who's your buddy? All right, chat. The meta distribution. Oh, it's getting a little bit swayed. That is Nami and Anel, 40% of the room. Wow, this is very different, chat. In the recent past, it's been like 10, like somewhere around like 14, 15%, 12 to 14%, 10%, 10%, 10%. The meta has gone way heavier. Oops, sorry. The meta has gone way heavier into Nami and Anel. I don't like seeing that. That was crazy. Hippo, congrats, Blue Rebecca. That's sick. Nami would fall off? No, Nami has the best matchup spread of any deck in the meta. I'm prepared to call Nami like BDIF. Like the deck to beat. No, Nami's matchup spread is too good. That's why I can't fault anybody for playing Nami, but I hate playing against Nami. Also, Ryan, I hope you're doing good. Yo, 3rd place at your locals today, Reborn. Nice. Congrats. Top 4, top 4, top 4. We should be getting the top 8 here soon. Oh, I don't think I have Twitter ready. Tweeta? I got to get ready to tweet top 4 of the Fukuoka Championship. Oh, not top 4, top 8. There it is. It is 3 Namis, 2 Teaches, 1 Goofy, 1 Calgara, Purple Linnell, and Blue-Green Luffy. Chad, this is Teach's top 8 to win. This is Teach's tournament to win. Nami, 2x BY Teach, 1x UG Luffy, 1x Penel, and 1x Calgara. There's a Calgara in top 8, chat. Calgara in top 8. That's crazy. Yeah, these tournaments, the Japan Championships always start at top cut. Sometimes they do top 16. Sometimes they do top 8. Today is the top 8. There's only like one championship of the year, the Japan Finals, which is basically the national championships, where they actually show like all the Swiss rounds and stuff. This Calgara could make some noise. I do not have a button. I do not have cards popping up for Calgara. Frick. I did not suspect this. But that's all right. Betty Gang, rise up. God bless Goofy. 4 winner cards in 3 weeks? Dude, 9 stars. That's awesome. Goofy's a pretty good deck. Got to root for the underdog. I want to root for Teach because I literally said, chat, the VOD has noted. I did say Teach was going to be the winner before they showed this. Did I not, chat? Somebody can pull it up in the VOD. This is also kind of nice because that means I won't be live as long tonight because I had a long day, chat. I woke up at 6:30 to get ready for the stream this morning of the Paris Expo. And then I've been awake all day. I've been making videos. I went to see the Minions movie, which, by the way, was a fantastic movie for anyone who likes having fun. Saw the Minions movie, went to locals, and then I immediately came back here and started stream. So I've been grinding, chat. Jungle meta, here we go. Yeah, I mean, Calgara is a perfect example of like jungle meta and how, you know, anything can top at any time in a jungle meta. Can you imagine, chat, how funny it would be if this Calgara was like a Thriller Bark package? I think I would actually like be upset, like genuinely. Well, I feel like, David, that Teach has been one of those decks that's like really good, but it's on the edge of the top 5. Just because of like how hard your matchup is against Blue-Green Luffy. Even though Nami is a good matchup, like you can still lose because Nami just does Nami things. Teach is really good into Purple Linnell and Nami. But like almost auto loses Blue-Green Luffy. Yeah, I'm sure they'll showcase Calgara on stream. But we've got our top 8 match here for you, chat. It's going to be Blue Yellow Nami is going to be here, right? Blue Yellow Nami, one of the best decks in the format, has one of the best matchup spreads in the One Piece card game right now in OP16, having those 2 leader effects. One, if you have 7 or less cards in your hand and a life leaves the life area on your turn, you can draw 1 and Dawn times 1 on opponent's attack once per turn. If you trash a card from hand, any card, your leader gains plus 2,000 power during the turn. Has a great matchup into stuff like Purple Linnell, but We'll have to see what Calgara does. Calgara, very interesting deck. Kind of the surprise of this top cut. Does have that Dawn ×1 when attacking effect of playing up to one Shandian Warrior type character card from your hand with a cost equal to or less than the number of Dawn cards on your field. And if you do, add one card from the top of your life to the top of your hand. Going to be curious to see how Calgara moves within this championship. You would have had to imagine that Calgara had to have gone through at least one or two Namis along the way, whether that was in Swiss rounds or, well, actually it would have been Swiss rounds because it's the first round of Top Cut. Are they going to reveal last leader? No idea, Rob, but I'll let you guys know if they do. Looks like Calgara keeping the hand, though. That was a pretty quick keep. I feel like we've seen this Nami player on stream before, chat. I think this is someone that's been on the Japan Championship live stream. Yeah, the name of the game for Calgara is going to be overwhelming very quickly the board. Stuff that Nami can utilize within this matchup that'll probably be pretty good. Stuff like Perona, any sort of Thriller Bark trigger. Looks like they are running a little bit of Sky Island, though, in this version that the Nami has. I see a Wiper in there, but we'll look at the player's starting hands here shortly. I'm curious to see how this goes, chat. Again, I haven't commentated too many Calgara games, so looks like there's a couple cards in here, one being a Kiku Nojo, right? That 4 cost over on the left side, or I guess the middle of the 3/4s that are right there. Mr. 3 Galdino, one of the best cards to come out in OP17 or OP16. Very, very nice to be able to stun lock things. That might be very relevant in this matchup. You got Baby 5, a nice utility 2K, just really for that trigger to draw some extra cards because our leaders are multicolored. You got 8 cost Gecko in there. One of the cards that I get most infuriated at in the game, but it is so good in my opinion. And then also Wiper. You got Calgara here on the other side. Has a different Wiper of his own. That's at 2K in the hand. Also has Upper Yard and Nami as some 1-drop searchers that the deck has. You've got Calgara, that 6 cost right there. That vanilla 8,000 power. One of the classic cards, I would say, of Calgara. And then Borsalino, one of the best yellow cards. Obviously going to have to be running one of those. Looks like Nami is also going to be going first in this game. I wonder, does Calgara want to go first or second in this matchup? Probably second, right? Take it away from Nami. But we're off. Nami going to be going first. No 1-Dawn plays, and not necessarily even 2-Dawn plays anymore for the Nami decks, as a lot of Namis are cutting Girl, the promo card. But Calgara going to be starting out with Upper Yard. Upper Yard going to be searching within that top 5 for a Sky Island type of card. Is looking at that 3-cost Calgara. That 3-cost. What accent is that? 3-cost Calgara over from OP16 is an excellent searcher to be able to find multiple copies of different cards in your hand, but not before the Nami search. Just going to be looking at that top 3 for a Sky Island type, and so does have a couple different options. Is thinking about the 5-cost Luffy, but no, goes with the Wiper instead. Just adding another 2K in the hand, adding a little bit more counter as we pass off the turn. Second, because he can go wide. I believe that. First start. Apparently they want first. Nami going to be swinging just 8,000 power at lead, taking the life now. Nami getting the leader effect after drawing a 7-cost Robin for the turn. Very often, Namis will also, on a 3-Dawn turn, right when they are going first in their second turn, just go ahead and swing 8. But Calgara going to be swinging 9 himself and playing down the 3-cost on the field. So is going to be going in for that swing, and now is going to go ahead and look at the top 5. So looking at the top 5 after trashing that vanilla Calgara in hand, going to be looking at the top 5 to find either 2 of Mont Black Norland and Shandian Warrior type cards. Looks like it's going to be a Braham, I believe his name is, and a Mont Black Nolan. So I think, honestly, a pretty solid start for Calgara. I think he's kind of seeing some of the pieces that he needs. Also has that OP12 Calgara in the hand. So Nami, after taking the life, is not going to have a trigger just simply because, well, now going into Nami's turn should be the 5-Dawn turn right here. Yo, Maxim, thanks for watching on the sofa. Nami going to think about swinging 6 at lead. Is more than likely thinking about playing a 4-cost Kiku Nojo or maybe Dr. Hogback on the field. It looks like Kiku Nojo is going to be the option, right? Especially because Calgara already at the 3 life. Kiku Nojo going to be able to heal as long as Calgara stays at that 3 life. So now going into the Calgara's 6th-Dawn turn is going to play a 5-drop Nami, something in EBO3. Utilized a lot in. Nami is going to be utilized for the Calgara here. Get arrested done while also going ahead and swarming the board already down to 2 life. Calgara effect going onto the field after being played on the when attacking. Now is going to be a 7,000 power swing at lead. And so now is going to have to be a leader effect from the Nami and then a 1K in the Dr. Hogback to get out of that attack. And we move into Nami's next turn. Definitely a pretty solid start for the Calgara right now. You do have a little bit wide of a board, of a couple different bodies, right? Nami is going to provide you a little bit of trouble by becoming a 7,000 power leader. But that might be something that you can work around, especially because pudding is banned in this format. You do have some healing options in the Mont Black Norlands. We got 2 of them in the hand. Got plenty of Calgaras as well. I think they're Marco sleeves he's running, right? I also forgot that I need to push the buttons, chat. My bad. I forgot to push the buttons. So Nami looks like he's going to be tapping some amount of Dawn. It looks like 4 Dawn, as I believe this is the 7 Dawn turn. Doesn't want to not have a Dawn on leader, especially right now, right? Because if you played the 7-cost Robin down onto the field, you wouldn't have a Dawn on leader, and all these swings of these 5,000, 6,000 power characters would come right in at your face. Looks like he's going to tap 5 instead. It's just going to play 5-cost Nami just to get a Dawn on leader that is arrested and attach some Dawn over to Kiku Nojo with the 7,000 power swing at lead. Looks like it's just going to go in swing 7 and 7. Since Calgara aggressively took life through the leader effect, they only have 2 life right now, so they didn't have to take one based on Nami's on-play effect. Calgara going to be going in with a 2K, 1K combo to get out of this attack. Looks like it's going to be Norland and the Wiper, so now the 7,000 power swing at lead might be trying to deny a card draw off of Nami's leader effect. Has plenty of healing options right now, but is going to go ahead for the Nolan and also Wiper combo. Again, just getting rid of both Nolans in hand, especially because with the Borsalinos in there, for 5 Dawn, instead of playing the Nolan, you can heal one with the Borsalino and also have a blocker. Oh, Marco's on the Dawn sleeves. Who's on the regular sleeves? Actually, I'm not familiar with those. And so going to be attaching one now, swing 7 for Nami. Just going to be trying to get that leader effect off right now. So is going to do exactly that, getting rid of the Gecko and also the Dr. Hogback to be able to get out of that attack. Another 7 on the Calgara with the when attacking is going to play the vanilla Calgara out onto the field. And now because a life left the life area over on your side is going to go ahead, draw 1 because of that 5-cost Calgara on the field. Nami is going to have to give up a card for every single swing, especially with the Borsalino there with the rest of the 5 Dawn, more than likely what's going to be played here at this point. especially because we don't have any more Dawn to be able to utilize. Oh, there are also Marco on the sleeves. Oh, I thought I was right. Dang, I'm so smart. Both are Marco. Yeah, I mean, this is a Borsalino angle, right? So is going to go ahead, tap 5 over for that Borsalino because we are at 2 or less life. Going to be able to heal 1 while establishing a blocker on the field. One of the reasons why this card is just one of the best in the game. Now, Calgara still has some attacks to be able to worry about, right? But you do have that 8,000 power Calgara Vanilla on the top side of the field and a full board of 5 that are ready to go in. But now Nami on the 9 Dawn turn. 9 Dawn turn can now safely play this Robin while guaranteeing that some Dawn get on your leader. Is just going to start out with the 6K swing at lead. Want to try to deteriorate the cards in the hand. It's just going to be a 2K Zeus out of the attack. Might just be trying to fish for those 2Ks. Now going in and blocking with Borsalino. Looks like it's going to be a block and 1K out of this attack. Is going to get rid of the Nami. Wanted to keep the Wiper in hand. Only 4 cards in hand right now for our Calgara player. Might be thinking about a Gecko angle. I believe you have some Dr. Hogbacks in the trash. But I think Robin would just be better. Unless you want to play Dr. Hogback on the field off of the Gecko. So is at least attaching 1 and swinging another 6. If he's swinging another 6, he's definitely going in with an 8-cost Gecko, right, on this turn. So Calgara going to be taking in Nami's leader effect going off as well. No trigger over on the Calgara side. Going to be a brick in that 3-cost Calgara, and Gecko hits the field. Gecko going to be able to get a 4-cost or less Thriller Bark into the life, and it looks like it is going to be Dr. Hogback. Going to be getting ready for that trigger. Now drawing for turnover on the Calgara side. The first 10 Dawn turn. Feels like we're on the late stages of this game as well. Still alive and kicking. Could go with another Borsalino angle if he wants to, just to be able to heal. But ends up swinging 6 now at the Nami, especially because the Nami requires a face-up life to be able to activate that on KO effect, and the Gecko putting the Hogback in the trash. There is no life to flip face up, so it's going to be a free KO on the Nami right there without giving up any cards. So just going to be taking a look at the trash right now, just trying to make sure maybe that there's no Perona in there, right? Perona would be able to stun anything on your board from being able to attack. So that rule exists in the West. I don't know if it exists in the East. I would imagine it does. And it's going to swing now 7,000 power now at lead. Again, similar to what we were doing earlier, just trying to get that leader effect off and also an additional card out of hand to be able to get out of these different attacks. I wouldn't mind in this situation maybe using leader effect and Perona to get out of the attack, especially because now you really threaten one of the bodies getting stunned and not being able to attack because of the Dr. Hogback trigger to play Perona out onto the field. And there we go, leader effect and Perona, like I mentioned, to be able to now threaten. And then the turn of the Calgara sideways of that 8,000 power vanilla. I think this is a good swing right here. You want to be able to utilize this 8,000 power swing sooner rather than not, because now you put the Nami in a weird position of, okay, do I actually want to stun something that's on the field right now? Yeah, solid color sleeves are fine, chat, so long as they're not see-through. But you can't have, like, in these championships at least, I don't think you can have Naruto sleeves or anything like that. I think it has to be one-piece sleeves or solid color sleeves. And so is going to go ahead and use the Dr. Hogback trigger to be able to get out what looks like Dr. Hogback on the field. Is maybe trying to ask, okay, if you want to go ahead and swing with the Calgary, got to commit some Dawn to it to be able to do that. But look at that, double Borsalino. We could double Borsalino right now and go back up to 3 life if we wanted to. We would have to play over 2 characters, though. But it's thinking about using Calgara's swing right here. 7,000 power, not using leader effect to play anything out onto the field. Maybe trying to go in with a single Borsalino angle to be able to then leave up some Dawn open for the Earth will not lose in the hand. Is going to go ahead, take the life, a potential trigger, baby 5 going in now, drawing 2 because your leader is multicolored. That's going to be nice for this Nami to be able to refill the hand a little bit, but holding 1K encounter in that one. Attaching 1 Dawn to Borsalino, now swinging 7,000 power with Borsalino. Is getting maybe a little confident. The Nami player in a little bit of a hard spot is thinking about pitching a 2K baby 5 for a 7K swing instead of either of the 1Ks in hand. Maybe wants to try to get this Calgara player to go all in on the swings, but Borsalino going to be coming down and healing 1 more, going up to 2 life now. Is going to go ahead, pass off the turn. 1 blocker on field, 1 Dawn open for the Earth will not lose, and a couple counter cards in hand. Doesn't look like the Calgara is losing in this turn. There's not enough Dawn for what? The double Borsalino? He was on a 10 Dawn turn. He could have. He just wouldn't have been able to swing with really like anything else. Once he started attaching Dawn, he couldn't do it. I think Nami's kind of in a tricky situation. Because what do you do right now? Do you Borsalino? Do you go ahead and heal 1? And then maybe use something like Mr. 3 to stun? That plays out the window if you attach 2 Dawn. So Nami making her leader 7,000 power. Let's think about instead going 7 with Kiku Nojo. Was there a Dawn attached? Did I just forget about it, chat? My bad on that. The Earth will not lose will come down to get out of that attack. The Earth will not lose being a counter event for plus 3,000 power. I think an upper yard, no. The upper yard is played from the hand. It is not bottom deck. That's the 2K wiper, I believe. And so attaching 2 Dawn, now just swinging a bunch of 7s at this point with these different characters on field. Trying to see if 2K, 1K will come out of the hand. The Calgara player might try to leave 1 life open for the Zeus just in case a Borsalino comes down, right, to heal 1. But is going to take this first life. No trigger on that one. It's going to be a 1K on the OP12 Calgara. That's not the worst. But now a handful of Dawn left open. Is going to attach 2 to Nami and now swing 7,000 power more than likely at lead. You don't really have any 2Ks outside of the Zeus. Might even just give up 3 1Ks. Because, yeah, especially Nami with 5 Dawn open, you'd imagine that this is a Borsalino. So saving the Zeus and the 1 life here because Zeus, in order to KO a 5 cost or less, has to take a life. So it really depends, Schwartz. It's a hard thing to say. Because I think a player has to declare that they're attaching the Dawn. And plus, he didn't do any extra actions or after attaching the Dawn before he changed his mind. So it's not like the game state changed really at all. I agree that once attached, you can't take it back. But, I mean, there's judges at this table right now. And the Japan rulings may be a little bit different than the Western rulings. And it looks like he is going to give up 3-1K. So now, even with this Gecko swing, could just be a block with the Borsalino as he goes ahead and swings the 10,000 power Gecko. I would not block 2K. You need to use this Zeus, right? It's 5 Dawn. There's going to be a Borsalino. You'll win this game because Zeus can KO the blocker Borsa. 10K now going at Borsalino. Just going to collect the knockout. It's the same thing as blocking with the active Borsalino. Oh, I think the Nami player said pass without playing Borsalino. Oh, no. This is going from bad to worse for the Nami player. All right, we'll see what the judge says. Now, if the player did say pass, yeah, the player said pass over to the Calgara player. That is definitely a blunder. Now you don't even need Zeus, and you didn't get a heal. That's a huge mistake right now. And with all 10 of this done, now you're just trying to think of the different lines of what the correct numbers are. You've got an 8,000 power Calgara. You've got Borsalino. You've got 2 other 6,000 power characters in the Nami and Calgara, and a leader. So going to be starting 9,000 power lead. I like 9,000 power, right? This forces many cards out of hand, not only leader effect to be able to go to 7,000 power, but also a 2K, 1K, and we see exactly that with Kumasi and the Borsalino. Now another 9,000 power coming in with the Nami. I think he's just going to go 9s across the board, going to be taking this life potentially. Might be a trigger. Looks like it's Perona. Perona would be able to play Perona out onto the field. But no, it's just going to put it in hand. No trigger. Could just go in and attach 1 Dawn. Now swing 7,000 power just to get a card out of hand. And now the rest of the 5 Dawn on the Borsalino claims the victory. And it looks like Calgara is moving into the top 4 round. So a little bit of a goof there at the end, chat. But that's why you take things slow and steady in the One Piece card game. Not slow playing, but making sure that you don't forget any specific actions, like playing something as important as Borsalino. Because Borsalino could have definitely changed the outcome in that game. Especially with the Calgara on that 1 trigger, potentially. We'll never know, but all we know is that Calgara is advancing into the top 4. No, Logan, it is not the same Nami player. No. It is not. Yeah, I think nerves just got to him. I mean, if you've ever been at the stream table, it happens. It happens. You're under the bright light. People are watching you, critiquing you. Ooh, Chad. There's going to be a new Rainbow Luffy leader. Chad, a new Rainbow Luffy leader in the upcoming, I think it's like 8 to 10 pack battles or something like that, that they've got over in Japan. It's basically what our release events replace. New Rainbow Luffy leader, 5 life. This is the one that gets used at the release events. And then also a little 1-cost Luffy. This is the 1-cost Impel Down Luffy Nice little alternate art. I think this is the winner card from the 8-pack battles that happen in Japan. Very nice. Very cute. Very cool. I'm excited for a new Rainbow Luffy. I think it's been a long time since we've gotten a new Rainbow Luffy. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, nice art. Very cool. Yo, Roko, what's good? Will we also have different release events? Japan doesn't have release events. They have something else that goes on. They have the 8-pack battles, which are not release events. Calgar had math regardless of Nami healing or not. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to go back and look, but like, Borsalino healing's a lot different because Borsalino is a blocker and healing. What did they just tweet? They just tweeted something. Ooh! I need to take a screenshot of this real quick. So there's an extra grand battle stream on... Or maybe streamed. I don't know if it will be streamed. But there's an extra grand battle on August 16th in Japan. I know. I need to go back to studying Japanese. I have not done it in a while. Not that I was any good. What are your thoughts about the last leader of OP17, which was not revealed until now? What do you mean? What do you mean revealed until now? There has been no leader revealed. It is still unrevealed, right? Am I crazy, chat? It's still unrevealed. Those are extra grand battle rewards at Cardfest. Do we know what the extra grand battle rewards are at Cardfest? Yo, Annis Lobby, what's good? Yeah, until now. Like, what do you mean until now? There is no... There hasn't been one. Yeah, I have no thoughts about it. Yo, what's up, Opa? The Perona would have... Well, I mean, like, the Perona trigger... When I say Perona trigger, I think what I meant to say was, like, any Thriller Bark trigger to get the Perona out on the field. Right? That's what I meant. Yeah, who's bringing Sawmill in my chat? Just kidding. Sawmill is always welcome in my chat. He is a friend. And he's really funny when you don't take him seriously. Although he is serious sometimes. Ballard, what's good? I'm going to go to the full screen. Or not full. I guess it's not really full screen. But you predict blue Garp. I do think there is a possibility that it could be Garp. Simply because in the trailer that we watched earlier, when they had like the 4 emperors and they had some of the leaders, like not as leaders, but with like an image that had like pictures of a lot of the leaders, Garp was in there. And Garp has not been revealed in the set yet. So I don't know, like, I think it could be a Garp leader. I think it could be a Garp leader. I'm not kidding. He could be able to use the Kuzan stuff. I hope they show off more 17. I hope they do. He's deeply connected to the old emperors. Yeah, so like thematically makes sense. I mean, I trust you on that. I don't know if it's true or not. Blue black Garp leader. I'd be a little surprised if it was like a dual colored leader, to be honest. Blue Sengoku. Yes, we need another Sengoku leader. Back-to-back set Sengoku leaders. We do it with Luffy. Come on. I think they're going to break. All right, chat, because they're going to break. Oops. Bandai communicated to me not too long ago that when they air the commercials... Look, there's Garp right there. There's Garp right there. They're showing an OP17 trailer. Gosh, I think it could be Garp. I think it could be Garp. They told me that when the commercials air and they show, like, their videos and stuff, to not air it on the channel. So I am currently on this screen right here because I don't want Bandai to take down my channel. So we're just going to be waiting. Could be Rocks. Could be Rocks. Why would they be holding it if it's Garp, though? That's the real question. Why would they not have revealed it already? Borsa leader, surely. Gorgon Sisters leader. That'd be kind of crazy. Yeah, I got to keep the boss happy. I mean, they're not my boss because I am not a Bandai employee, even when they hire me to commentate Cardfest. They are not my... I am not an employee or a representative. Next Emu leader, OP20. Oh my gosh, I haven't even thought about, like, OP18. We're talking about OP20 already? Yeah, they're kind of doing the same thing as, like, when they got ready to announce, like, Emu and the 5 Elder cards. To where, like, they're holding it because of the anime. So, like, I don't know. Who knows how fast Rocks will be in the anime for him to be the last leader? Oh, yeah. If I want to keep getting invited to cast Bandai official events, I gotta not tick them off. I do like that I can be honest, though. I can be honest with how I feel about certain things that are done. How do we plan to build our OP17 decks for Cardfest? It's a week after release. By attending your pre-releases or your release events. Opening product on release. Pre-ordering cards. Having friends let you borrow cards. What's the top 4 looking like? Well, we know that there's a Calgara in there, but that's it. We don't know anything else about the top 4 yet, Hector. God Valley will be next year. Rocks won't be in the anime for a couple more months. Oh. Yeah, you're going to have to plan it pretty fast. That's why I suggest, chat, if you're worried about Cardfest, start playing the OP-TCG simulator. Batsu's already got all the cards revealed on OP17 on the simulator. So go download it and play it. Practice. Figure out what you need before you have to buy. Shun's not going to ban Nami because Shunogawa's favorite color in the One Piece card game is yellow. He won't ban Nami. Nami's too iconic. I wouldn't mind, though, if he banned 8-cost Gecko. How do you feel about Teach cutting Borsa to less than 4 copies in lists? Who's doing that? I'm not going to sit here and say that that cutting Borsalino lower than 4 is wrong, but is that something people are really doing? Like at regionals and stuff. I don't care what happens at local tournaments. I feel like the most you could do is 3. And that's it. Yeah, but Kailakai also acknowledges that Borso is a good card. Has he still not played with Borsalino? I thought he did end up playing with Borsalino. Like, obviously, like when OP16 was about to come out leading up to it in the West, and they already had it in the East, he was kind of in the forefront of like, play 4 San Juan Wolves. Don't play Borsalino. Don't need to. Because he was like, I can't afford Borsalinos anyways. Does he still not play Borsalino? I just feel like Borsalino is one of those cards that it's so good when you play it down. Like, I literally won a game at locals today because I played down Borsalino. No. I might just be misremembering Ennis Lobby. I might be misremembering. TCGD was just a browser thing? I don't even know what that is, David. If the set is Strongest Warriors, then want to be that guy who wants to get to 800,000 power? Might be. Oh, we got to go back to this. All right, Chad, what's the top 4? How many teachers are left? Come on, 2. Oh, they had a correction with the meta distribution. This is a correction. 17% of Nami and Blue-Green Luffy. And then Purple Enel, 16%. Teach, just under 10. Rosinante, Lucy, Ace, Boa, Red Green Luffy, Yamato, Shanks, Calgara, Red Ace, Mono Red Ace, Mihawk, OP15 Bell Luffy, Crocodile. Interesting. Favor the Shiryu blocker just to help the worst matchups compared to Borsalino. I won locals today with blocker Shiryu. But I also had Borsalino in the deck. No, this is not with the starter decks, Keck. That's going to be next weekend. They're not legal yet. It has to be a week for them to become legal. So that was top 8, chat. Top 4. It looks like there's 2 teaches in Top Cut. 2 teaches, 1 Purple Enel, and 1 Calgara. I think there could be a teach in the finals, as long as it's not a... I mean, if it's a mirror match, they're in finals. Because Teach has a good matchup into Purple Enel. The Calgara, I don't really know what's going to happen. It might just go too wide too fast. Bell Luffy got top 16 last weekend, though. Who are the decks? 2 Teach, 1 Purple Enel, and 1 Calgara. Yeah, 0 Nami. All 3 Namis lost in top 8. Poggers, chat. But Enel has won multiple OP16 championships by being the lone Enel in a Top Cut. Here we go, Chad. What's it going to be? It's going to be one of the teaches. So 2 teaches left within the top 4. It's going to be interesting to see how these players are playing the teach decks. There's a lot of disparity between players, especially from the East to the West, on how Teach should be played, what is the best way to play Teach. But you gotta imagine that the Teach players in the top 4 of this championship are pretty happy about how they decided to play Teach this week. Who did that? Who subscribed? I was in the middle of talking. McIntyre, what's good? It is going to be a Teach mirror match, though. Thank you so much for the hot Twitch Prime. Teach mirror match is going to be a little bit about dice roll, but there are a couple tech cards that can be played in the mirror match, including 9-cost Boa Hancock, that are very good in the mirror. So we'll see if any of those cards come up. We'll see as well with Burgess, right? 4-cost Burgess, although very good, especially if you run the very aggressive My Era Mills, right? To be able to build up a Jesus Burgess. Whoa, winner. Wait, no. He just won the die roll. Wait. That was a little oopsies in production. That was crazy. What was I saying? If you don't have the correct timing on swinging Burgess, you can get paid by that immensely, right? You could lose on that Burgess very quickly, especially with the 10-cost each going in and negating the Burgess, right? To lose the power, to lose the protection effects. So Teach is guaranteed in the finals of this championship, chat. I have no idea how the Calgara Purple Enel matchup goes. I'd imagine that Purple Enel has a shot. Both players mulliganing their hand. It looks like player on the right side does have a full lead in the hand. I think player on the right side has a better hand in general. Is going to be going second in this match also. Free win if you win the dice roll. Yeah, players actually agreed before this that the winner of the dice roll is just going to win the game. This is the player on the left side. They've got a couple 1-drops in the hand of the Doc Q and also Van Auger, one of the cards that some players think that should be played within the Blackbeard deck, and some players do not. We've got Katarina Devon there as well, being able to copy power from an opponent's character, which could be very nice. And then a couple Borsalinos. Borsalino, although maybe not exactly what you're looking for right now in this starting hand for the Teach, is still a very good card, right? That's why some of the top decks in the format are yellow, and they're all playing this card. So we'll see if Borsalino has any impact in this game today. Player on the right side does have full lead and a Doc Q of their own. They also have a couple other cards that are fringe in Lafitte and also San Juan Wolf. There are a lot of players, including myself, that hate San Juan Wolf, right? It is a card that I know Eastern players are very high on, and I know at the beginning of the format of when both the East and the West were there, a lot of people were playing a lot of copies of San Juan Wolf, but you'll see a lot of players nowadays go down to 1 copy, 0 copies of it in their deck list, and it's going to be interesting to see how this goes, but especially the right side, right, having full lead is definitely going to, I think, have advantage in this game, being able to constantly search for the different key pieces every single turn. So, going to be playing a Van Auger to start out this turn, now going in with the Blackbeard into their next turn. Does top deck Baby 5, so Baby 5, a potential trigger in this deck. Full lead's going to be played onto the field and immediately going to search with it. Just going to pitch that Baby 5 to look at that top 3 to find a Blackbeard Pirates kind of card. Finds a couple of them, 10 cost each, and Shiryu is going to be grabbing the Shiryu out of the 2, especially if you play a full 4 copies of that 10 cost Teach in the deck. Maybe you pass up on it right now because you need to find the Shiryu sooner. So playing down the Lafitte is interesting, and this kind of tells me as the player on the left side that maybe the player on the right side doesn't have a 4 cost that they really want to play on this upcoming turn, or maybe doesn't have one in hand right now. It could be either that if they want to go ahead and search with it in the next turn, or might just be a nice redirect target, right? Especially on an attack to where you don't have to give up a life so early, especially on the 7K swing. But Blackbeard is going to take it. Going to not be a trigger, just a Borsalino to put into the hand, and Doc Q hits the field to be able to say, okay, if you're going to attack me, I could redirect into this Doc Q and KO your Lafitte, right? With that on KO effect of KOing some 1 costs on the field. Doc Q, very good for the mirror match to be able to KO opposing 1 costs over on the other side. So going to be starting out with the full lead effect to be able to look within that top 3. Does find Baby 5, Katarina, and 8 cost each. Looks like 8 cost each is going to be able to be the option. Just going to be searching within the deck of the key pieces that you're going to be able to play on the 4 Dawn turn, the 6 Dawn turn, and eventually the 10 Dawn turn. But on 4 right here, it's a little bit of an interesting decision. Do you go ahead, swing 5, maybe let your Lafitte potentially go if they redirect, or, you know, do you maybe search with it? And it looks like searching with Lafitte is going to be the option. I think was maybe thinking about playing San Juan Wolf instead. Does find a 4 cost Burgess and a 6 cost Rayleigh. Chat, on stream the other day, we were actually thinking about 6 cost Silvers Rayleigh within our deck, but it looks like Vasco Shot is going to be the option to grab. Can't grab the Silvers Rayleigh, obviously, but Silvers Rayleigh, just a nice removal card in general. Now a 6,000 power swing over at lead, and with 2 Dawn left as active, might go ahead and double play Doc Q as well as Vasco Shot. Leader effect redirecting into the Doc Q is going to go ahead and KO that Lafitte on the field because of the on KO effect. And now we're just going to double play of a Doc Q of our own and Vasco Shot, setting up those 1-drops. Going to be very nice as easy redirect targets within this matchup, especially as some of these other bodies are starting to come out onto the field. And with the player on the left side still being at 4 life, a Borsalino would just be a 5 cost blocker to play right now. So is going to go ahead and swing 5 at lead. The redirect is happening now into the Doc Q to go ahead and KO the Van Auger. Van Auger is going to go ahead and draw 1 card because of its on KO effect. You would be able to minus 3,000 power, but you're not necessarily worried about the Vasco Shot, so you would just go ahead and draw. Is he opting not to draw? Or is it only on opponent's turn, actually? Oh, my apologies. Van Auger is opponent's turn. I actually did not remember that about Van Auger. So great job by our player on the right side, kind of recognizing that, hey, we need to go ahead and get rid of this Van Auger, kind of force him to play another one down onto the field. And Katarina Devon is going to be the option there for the player on the left side to end the turn. Only 3 cards in hand. Now a 5,000 power swing. If you redirect right now, it kind of feels bad. You don't really want to redirect into Van Auger just simply because Van Auger is not going to get you a power minusing that's really effective in this situation. But Zehaha is going to be triggered to draw 2 and trash 1, especially for this Blackbeard player. He's going to need to be able to find some pieces, and so is going to go ahead and get rid of one of those Borsalinos. Not looking like an incredible hand, still sitting at 3 life, and it looks like sure you might come down onto the field, but not after this full lead. And this is kind of the difference of full lead right in these lists, being able to continuously cycle. That's been the big thing about this match, is what you're seeing in this difference is that one player over here on the right side has been able to consistently find his pieces throughout the entire game, and the other player is just kind of sitting and hoping that the triggers can bail him out, right? One of the reasons that Zeha was utilized. So going to go ahead and trash out that full lead in the hand that we grabbed off the full lead stage to be able to get that Shiryu in the life, right? That Shiryu going to be very nice to just be able to draw 2 cards, right? Just be able to raw draw. Typically, a lot of Shiryus will play Katarina Devon in the life, but since we don't have access to one as of yet, Shiryu is such a good option to be able to just go ahead and be able to just fill back up the hand, especially if a redirect needs to be utilized on this turn. How do you feel about starving the opponents if you play Teach? Are you talking about like against Teach or as Teach going in? And so starting out with the 6,000 power swing over at lead is just going to be that Shiryu trigger to be able to draw 2 cards, right? Starting out the turn with that, trying to maximize the amount of cards in hand, especially because Katarina is the only other thing that's going to be swinging. You can just swing, or you could just redirect into Vasco Shot. Maybe they don't even want to go ahead and swing with the Katarina, but the Shiryu is going to play the Katarina of their own and now go in, just spread out the trash, trying to inform what 1 costs are in the trash right now for the player on the left side, and now passing off the turn, not swinging that Katarina like I mentioned, right? You don't want to get that redirect into the Vasco Shot and rest. Now we go into his 8 Dawn turn, does have that 8 cost Teach in the hand, and the only thing missing now is that 10 cost Teach that we're still looking for. Going to be starting out with the full lead potentially, maybe not. As Teach, I think there are some matchups where you definitely go in and starve, but I think just naturally as your game plan a lot of times, like, you'll figure it out. As the 5,000 power leader now swings over at lead, a redirect in the Van Augur just makes the Shiryu a 5,000 power character easier to get around, but looks like it is going to be a Katarina trigger to be able to draw a card and play a 1 cost from the trash. We'll see what he plays. It looks like it is going to be another Van Augur. I think Van Augur's a fair option, but actually goes, oops, that's the wrong card. Does go in with the Doc Q. Doc Q is going to be able to potentially get rid of the Vasco Shot if it stays out too long. And now the Teach coming in. Teach going to be able to look at that top 3 for any card that they want to put into the life. Has 2 Zehahas in a black vortex. It looks like Zeha going to be the option. I definitely agree with that. If it was maybe 1 Zehaha, maybe you wouldn't, right? You could argue potentially for the black vortex, but since it was 2 of them, you may not run any more in the game. You might as well go ahead and make sure that you have access to 1 of them. So now going in the full lead does have the My Era Begins, especially because the Zehaha is in the life. You can go ahead and start out the turn by searching with full lead, searching with My Era Begins to be able to find a 10 cost each to play off of the Zehaha. So great job recognizing that by the player on the right side. Still 4 Dawn over on the right side, 3 on the left, starting the 9 Dawn turn. Player on the left side was undefeated in Swiss and obviously undefeated in Top Cut so far. Going to be starting out with the 5,000 power swing. Is going to go ahead leader effect into Vasco Shot to get that Katarina Devon as rested. Drawing a card as well as part of that on KO effect of the Vasco Shot. Now is going to go with an 8 cost Teach of his own. The 8 cost Teach going to be finding Lafitte, Zehaha, and Silver's Rayleigh. So Silver's Rayleigh, I don't think Silver's Rayleigh really matters at this point. Both players playing Silver's Rayleigh in their deck, but with no 7,000 power or less characters, not necessarily something that's going to be utilized. And now establishing the full lead, going to be starting to do those searches. Does find 2 10 cost each, and 1 is going to be the automatic grab for the player on the left side. And I do agree with that grab, right? You definitely want to play it in the next turn. So now go ahead into the left or the right side's turn. I know my lefts and rights. Did not take a life in that turn because the Shiryu did not swing. Is going to go ahead now, search within that top 3. If they don't find the 10 cost here, might not be able to play a 10 cost on the field, especially because you don't have a Zeha to cheat it out. And so the 6 cost Shiryu comes into the hand. Might be trying to go with a 8 cost Teach kind of angle right now. But not before the 5,000 power swing over at lead. Or at the Katarina, I'm sorry. 5,000 power at the Katarina is going to be able to get the redirect off into the Docu just to be able to draw a card, right? Not going into Van Augur, especially because, you know, the minusing power may not be a factor against the Katarina, especially when this 8,000 power swing going in at it. Now the 10,000 power swing going in at the lead is going to go ahead, take the life. No trigger, right, with that Zeha. We might want to utilize it in the next turn to be able to force our opponent to take a life. Now the 8 Dawn coming in with another Teach. Definitely not the most ideal play that you can utilize, but finally finding a 10 cost right here. Was thinking about putting a My Era in the life, but I think 10 cost Teach is where you want to be. Was actually changing up the order? I don't think it was changing up the order. I think maybe accidentally flipped the cards around and the judge told him to change it real quick. And so, after correcting that game state, Wright is going to go with a Lafitte search. This little 1-drop is going to be able to find you an extra card right inside your hand and is going to go with the 10 cost each. So there's a 10 cost each that also went to the bottom of the deck as well. So there's 3 copies of 10 cost each that we know about. We'll see if there's the 4th and how close we are. Especially with the full lead and also searching with things of Lafitte. You will be able to cycle through your deck pretty easily, I think, in a longer game such as this. So knowing exactly when certain situations happen in your stack is something that you definitely need to be aware about when you're playing this deck. So now going into the left side's turn, full lead is going to go with the Jesus Burgess. Still 17.5 minutes left. Still plenty of time, chat. Still plenty of cards in deck for both players. But 10 cost each comes down. 10 cost each being able to shut off leader effect on the opposing side, as well as a body is opting for that active 10 cost each. Now is going to swing the Van Auger over at the Lafitte to claim the knockout. No more searching with only 1 Dawn. But now, no leader effect means that any swing going at face is going to be connecting with face no matter what. Has the 8,000 power Shuryu, the 10,000 power Teach, and leader as well to swing with. Is going to start out 10,000 power at Shuryu, so going in with a little bit of board control now. Just trying to ask for cards out of hand, especially because there is no redirect potential with the Teach leader effect. So is thinking about 2K, 1K out of this attack. Not a lot of counter outside of that. Especially if the Shuryu goes in and swings at the Shuryu. You would be able to get out of it because you have that 2K in the Doc Q. And is going to go 2K, 1K. Is going to try to keep the bodies alive as long as possible. So the 5,000 power swing and lead is going to take the life. I believe it's a 10 cost each. So going to go into the hand. And then the pass off the turn. Not going to swing with the Shuryu yet again. So interesting not swinging with the Shuryu in this matchup. It's not something I've really thought about when playing some mirror matches of Blackbeard. So full lead going to be going off. There's that 4th 10 cost Teach. So now all 4 10 cost Teaches are accounted for. 1 being at the bottom of the deck. 3 of them now in the hand. Definitely is going to be playing 1 down. Blaze Slice better than Dragon Twister Rope? No, in my opinion. Respectfully. Yo, Grayson, what's good? 10 cost Teach coming down onto the field is going to go ahead, I believe, negate the 10 cost blocker Teach and the leader effect. Looks like 5,000 power now going in at lead. Yeah, once the Zehahas start coming down and these 10 cost Teaches shutting off leader effect, the game goes into turbo mode a lot of times in the mirror match. And so is a potential trigger is going to be Vasco Shot. Vasco Shot, even though not resting anything, is going to at least go ahead and draw 1 card. Is going to go ahead, take the next life. A potential trigger maybe yet again. Looks like maybe Katarina Devon, but is just going to put it in the hand. And the pass off the turn. Player on the left side now at 1 life. Player on the right side still at 4. It's just 1 Zehaha and 10 cost each away from being a disaster at this point. Tried using Mono Teach for a Pirates party yesterday. Got destroyed. Felt like it was missing something. The problem with Mono Black Teach is you didn't gain anything from OP16, unfortunately. That's, in my opinion, that's the big problem. So especially with no 10 cost each in hand, you do have full lead search to be able to utilize. You also have something like Borsalino, especially with the 8 cost each that's pitched, might be going into a Borsalino angle. You could grab Burgess and maybe go something along the lines of like a Burgess and Borsalino angle for 9 Dawn, just to be able to spread out your board a little bit. But not being able to neutralize this 10 cost here is huge, especially swinging the 5, giving a redirect opportunity for the Blackbeard. He is just going to go ahead, take the life, put it in the hand. It's going to be a Zehaha. He is 1 stroke off of winning this game. It's going to be a 10,000 power swing, just going ahead and blocking with the blocker teach that he has. And now the 8,000 power swing going in at lead is going to utilize leader effect to redirect into the 10 cost teach. And now we go in with Borsalino. Borsalino going in and healing 1, going up to 2 life. Going to round out the turn, playing a Burgess over the Van Auger. I don't know how powerful the Burgess is, but we haven't really had incredible trash buildup in this game for our player on the left side. So now going into this next turn, we do have the Zehaha 10 cost teach combo. Maybe he's trying to think about right now where the Zehaha is. Especially if you remember which stack it was in and how many stacks that was ago. Is going to go ahead with the full lead to start out the turn. Getting rid of the Shiryu. Is going to look at that top 3. Is going to find a Burgess. That's at least a 1K counter that you can grab, especially because Baby 5 and the Silver's really not utilized. And here comes Zehaha. Zehaha coming in for 8 Dawn to play a 10 cost each out onto the field. Is going to go ahead and neutralize, I think you have to take the life before you utilize the activate main. So is using the activate main now on leader, and the 10 cost blocker is going to attach the 2 Dawn. Go ahead and swing 7. This is going to require 2 cards in hand, 2K, 1K on the Katarina and Burgess. 8,000 power now coming in at lead. Is going to go ahead, take the life, a potential trigger, putting it in the hand. The 10,000 power swing at lead of the block with Borsalino. 10 over there is going to claim the game with plenty of time. The beginning of the game, a lot of times in that matchup, is very slow. But, especially again, like we were talking about with those Zehaha turns, the game speeds up pretty quickly. The 10 cost coming down, neutralizing leader effect, neutralizing a lot of the defenses that the other player has. It's going to be tough. Why no Utrecht stream even yesterday? I have no idea. I'm not part of the production team. And now Fukuoka. What do you mean Fukuoka is happening right now? That's how the mirror match goes, chat, in my opinion. That's kind of the speed that it goes. Chat Teach guaranteed in the finals of the Fukuoka Championships. We'll see what he's playing against. Not 100% sure. It's either Calgara or Purple Lanel. And I think if I'm the Teach, I'd rather face Purple Lanel. I did say before the tournament that I thought Teach was going to win today. I just want to say, ooh. Chad, look at these. Chad, is this dash packs? I think these are dash packs, chat. Some new dash packs of OP16 have been revealed. Looks like it's going to be the 7 cost starter deck Newgate, 7 cost OP14 Shanks, 6 cost Vanilla Buggy, 7 cost EBO4 Kaido, 10 cost event pack Luffy, 10 cost event pack Teach, and 6 cost starter deck Linlin. I don't fully know Japanese, but I believe this is a anniversary dash pack, promo pack, if you buy a certain amount of product over in Japan, this is very likely to come out into the West. The last several sets that have had dash packs we have gotten out in the West, these would be awesome. I would love these. Scale 1 to 10, chat. How do you like these? Any announcements so far, like a blue leader? No, there's been no announcements of a blue leader as of yet, chat. I swear. I gotta switch the screen. Where? There it is. I gotta write finals next. Chat, finals are next. We're just taking a quick break because they're airing stuff that we're not allowed to have on stream. 10? The crowd goes mild. It's all Yonkos. I want the Teach card. I need the Teach card because I don't think I have a playset of that promo. And I need the Luffy because I don't have a playset of that promo. So I would love those specifically. Another Buggy. Bandai's been giving a lot of love to Buggy lately. Wait. Why? Why is that, chat? Chat, thank you so much for joining me as well in the stream. If you're enjoying the stream, please make sure to like the stream, especially if you're on YouTube. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. Take like 5 seconds to hit the thumbs up. But also make sure that you're subscribed and or following, depending on where you are. Thank you also to Glavin, Rocco, and Vantis for following over on Twitch. I do content full-time. I cast at a lot of One Piece championships very often. And so commentating is my shtick. I do this for a living. So, chat, I appreciate all of your support. It helps pay the bills, helps pay rent, be able to live my dream of just playing card games and talking about card games. And I like doing this with you. I'll sell you my Luffys. That's funny. You think I have the money to buy the Luffys. I can't pay like $80 Luffys. No way. No shot. Chad, I make enough money to pay the bills. I don't make that much money to just spend $80 per card for a card that's not very good. I need that dash pack. I need that dash pack. Give me a cheap version. Oh, your favorite character is Croc. I really like Croc. Buggy's the only Red Rock in the game. It needs suppression, not support. How do you feel about the tech cards in BY Teach? I was trying out Silver's Rayleigh the other day, and I didn't hate it, to be honest. So it was really interesting to see both players in that top 4 match playing it. What else? I still think Son One Wolf is not very good. Wait, are they above $80? No shot, right? Are they above $80? I don't know. I don't follow the market that closely. I got my one for participating in the extra grand battle, and that's all that I needed. How much are the event pack Luffys now, chat? Twister? Oh, I play Dragon Twister. I play it at 3 copies currently because I don't own a 4th copy. But I think it's a good card. I think Twister is a pretty good one. What else? What else? One Cost Lafitte I think is a fine card. I play it. I play it at 2 copies. I think 2 copies is fine. The event pack Luffy Gandhi. Or I guess I should say the 10 cost event pack Luffy. Yeah, I think Twister's pretty good, and at worst, it's a redirect card, right? I know that Luffy cards in general are going up, but like, dang, like really that much? That much? Chat, I currently see Red Black Sabo versus Purple Katakuri on my screen. One of their YouTube videos. Giving up tempo to play Grab Blade is tough. Oh, I see. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not super useful against Nami, that's for sure. Although, if they go the annoying, like, Borsellino Marco route, you can just delete both of them, which is nice. What's the one that gives minus 2,000 power characters and destroys if they hit 0? Wiper? I don't play Wiper. I think Wiper was really cute at the beginning of the format, but I don't really think it's something that sticks. Can't wait for my Mihawk starter deck. I know, right? I'm so ready for the starter decks. The Japan Championships next week, chat, will be starter deck legal, by the way. They weren't legal this weekend because they literally just released in Japan. But next weekend, they will be legal. And don't worry, we will go over the championship on the channel. I promise. If I should sell my OP01 Luffy or Law? I mean, if you need the money, now's a pretty good time to sell. I can't complain about the OP01 leader prices if I need some quick bucks. Well, I think that, like, Wiper does, in theory, help the Goofy matchup, but I think the biggest thing is he doesn't have a trigger on it. Like, I think that's the big difference between Dragon Twister and Wiper is, like, not having that trigger is actually, like, so bad. Like, you want to minimize the amount of cards that don't have trigger in your deck because you have 3 to 4 Teaches that don't have trigger. You have 2 to 4 Burgesses in your deck. You've got more than likely 4 full leads that don't have trigger. You want to have triggers in your deck. Oh, one of the tech cards that I really like in Teach, I'm currently playing a 1 of 9 cost Boa. I played it like 3 times today in the local that I won today. I played it like in 3 different games, and it was awesome every single game. Dragon Twister KOs a 6 cost and a 5 cost on the field. So basically the reason that you use Dragon Twister is because you want to KO Buggy and Prisoner on curve. Or just at some point. Like you're able to respond to Buggy Prisoner very easily with Dragon Twister. I'm really curious about Red Green Luffy after the starter decks get released. I'm really curious about it. I think Liberation is bait because Liberation does not hit Prisoner Buggy. And I think that's the whole goal of the interaction. So, Chad, it's going to be Teach versus Purple Lanel. This is Teach's match to win. Teach has a favorable matchup into Anel, one of the matchups that you tried to look for, but with Anel being Anel, there's still an opportunity to take down Teach. Anel, right? The god of OP15, still alive very well in OP16. It's going to have to go up against this Teach, right? Redirecting attacks, negating different effects. We'll see also if the techs of this Teach player, like Silver's Rayleigh, come into effect in this game. Didn't really see it in the last game. Looks like Anel is going first in this one. Anel loves to go first, but Teach loves to go second. So maybe you don't really mind that as the Teach player. Looks like going into the Anel's hand first. Has a couple 1-drops in the Ohm and Satori. Also has the 6-drop blocker Anel. I believe that's the flagship winner one. And then a couple events in Vari and Divine Departure. So not the craziest hand in the world, but not the worst hand in the world. That's for sure. So now going into the Teach's hand. Teach does have a little bit to start in terms of the Doc Q. Has the Burgess, Shuryu, right? Bodies to play in the beginning of the game. Sanwon Wolf also in the hand. Katarina, Devon. It's not awful. It's not too bad. Especially Doc Q could be useful within this matchup, right? When Anel plays a ton of 1-cost bodies on the field. Doc Q can be very threatening to those 1-cost bodies to be able to remove them immediately. Sounds like Calgara lost to Anel in the top 4. And so going into the game, looks like Anel going to be starting off at this match, is going to be playing Satori first. Satori is going to be able to draw 1 card, right, as most of the vassals do, but reorder the top 2 back into their turn. Now the Teach going in here does top deck full lead, so this is going to be a great start now for the Teach. Immediately pitching Sanwon Wolf, right? That card just sucks. Everybody should drop it, in my opinion. Stop playing Sanwon Wolf. Is going to go ahead and find an 8-cost Teach. Now the 4, 6, and 8 Dawn turns have been decided by the Teach. Got all those in the hand. Doc Q coming down on the field as well. Going to be nice in case any more 1-drops come down. Now onto the 2 Dawn turn for the Anel. No L-Thor, so you can't get rid of Doc Q and then play the Ohm down. Is it okay to play some yellow, or will be the... It's hard to tell if they'll be out of meta in OP17 because we don't have the full set, Shinra. Wanted to give you that answer before I go back into casting. After using leader effect, is going to go in with the Satori of a 5,000 power swing at lead. Baby 5 is going to be triggered. Baby 5 going in with the trigger is going to go ahead, draw 2 cards because our leader is multicolored. Now a 6 at lead is just going to go ahead and take the life yet again. Now Shuryu going in. That's 4 cards drawn with 2 triggers. Classic yellow deck. Am I right? And now the Ohm coming down onto the field is going to go ahead, draw an extra card, and Satori coming in, right, to just widen out the board, play out a ton of bodies onto the field. Now going into the Teach's next turn. Does have 4 Dawn, right? Can go ahead and play Burgess onto the field. Is going to go ahead, clear that Satori. Now go in with the full lead. Full lead, going to be searching right now. Is going to be trying to find 10-cost Teach eventually. And there it is. So we'll see if he decides to grab it or maybe more counter. Looks like 10-cost Teach is going to be the play. And I agree. Want to make sure that you have your curve, right? Especially because you haven't cycled through your deck or anything. And Burgess comes down onto the field. Burgess is going to be a 6,000 power body as of right now because of the 4 cards in the trash. So that's going to be something that stacks up a ton if this Anel is not careful. Now you do have a fair amount of power minusing in the Divine Departure, in the Gamma Knife, right? To be able to try to get rid of this Burgess. But something like L-Thor is not going to be able to get rid of it. So you're going to have to swing into it to be able to clear it. No, you're good, Shinra. I think it's hard to tell because we don't have the full set list in OP17. And so playing down that blocker Anel is going to be able to put it down onto the field. And now looks like making a move with the Vari. Vari going to be able to boost the cost of the Ohm just to be able to draw a card, really, if anything. Does find a Search or a Nell, can play that within the next turn, but now Leader Effect going off. Going to be able to re-ramp that one Dawn, attach 4 Rested, and swing with the Satori. Just going to be looking at that top 2 to see if that's something that he's going to want. Might just be a 6-6 angle in terms of the attacks. Is Mama Ragon and Shura going to leave that on the top? Definitely want Mama Ragon, especially because Teach is a curve deck, right? A lot of times swinging 5,000 power with Leader. A lot of times going to want to utilize that. So 2K gets out of the attack right there. Now the 6,000 power swing. Could just go ahead and redirect into the Dock Q, but because of the Vari that was played on the Ohm, you wouldn't be able to get rid of the Ohm. So is going to go ahead, use Leader Effect into the Dock Q, at least get rid of the Satori so he doesn't have to swing at it in the next turn. And Dock Q drawing a card as well for the on-KO effect now going into the next turn. Once we use the full lead, the Burgess will be swinging 7,000 power. It's going to be nice. But you got to be careful with Burgess, right? Especially with the Ohm on the field. You don't really have a way to deal with it as of right now. Could be something that could get minus enough that you can't deal with heading into this next turn, and you might lose out on that Burgess. So going ahead and grabbing the Vasco shot is going to go ahead, tap 6 for that Shuryu, play it down onto the field. Go ahead, trash that Vasco shot that you just grabbed to put a 4-cost Katarina Devon into the life. Any 6-cost or less Blackbeard Pirates kind of card. Katarina is the most frequent option that a lot of Blackbeard players utilize, with that trigger of not only being able to draw a card, but also be able to play a 1-cost back out onto the field. If this Purple NL player decides to play a handful more of these 1-cost weenies out onto the field, well, maybe Katarina Devon gets Dock Q out, right, to be able to KO a lot of those 1-costs. If maybe that there is something like a Frankie that comes out onto the field, right, a nice 4-cost blocker that a lot of NLs play, well, maybe you get Vasco shot instead onto the field to rest a 6-cost or less. A lot of different routes that Katarina Devon can take you, but it looks like the NL going in with that secret rare. The secret rare looking at that top 5 after the Dawn -1 to be able to find whatever card you want that you think fits the game plan. It's the easiest way to chain secret rare Nels, and it looks like we are going exactly for that. We got to pitch a card as well at this. It's going to be Vari. So Vari. Interesting that we're not keeping Vari, potentially because Vasco shot is on the trash. Vari could be utilized to not get hit with that on KO effect. So now going in with the Leader effect, attaching the 4 Dawn to the Ohm is going to be 6,000 power at lead. Is going to be going ahead and minusing 1,000 power on the Burgess. The Burgess should be now a 6,000 power character at this point. I don't know why they're not tracking its power addition and only its power minusing. But is thinking about just 2K'ing out the Katarina right now. Is instead going to go ahead, take the life to get Katarina on the trigger. Now playing Vasco shot onto the field is going to be interesting now because you can go ahead and rest if you redirect, but is going to take the life instead. The 6,000 power swing at lead after taking the 10,000 power swing from the Nell. Is going to go ahead, use Leader effect to redirect over, and the Shuryu getting rid of the Zehaha. Now Burgess is a 7,000 power character once again. Please give him the cost plus. Somebody, as we hit the 8 Dawn turn for the Teach, going to be able to heal and go back up to 2. And I think you're going to be able very easily to get rid of the Ohm on the field. So now swinging at the Ohm is going to be that knockout. Is just going to go ahead and play the 8-cost Teach before doing anything else. Could go ahead with the 8-cost Teach, put it in the life. Also has Baby 5 that he could utilize, but goes with that 8-cost right away. Maybe trying to nullify this 6-cost Nell potentially. The Burgess now being pitched on the full lead is going to go ahead, grab a 10-cost Teach. This is the second 10 cost teach in the hand, I believe, now at this point. So going to have a route for the next couple turns. But the teach in the life also makes it so if something like that 4-cost Reiju were to come out onto the field from this purple Enel, you would be able to negate the Reiju and KO it regardless of how many events are in the trash for the purple Enel. Yo, Patreon, what's good? 5,000 power now at lead. No Mamaragon on the Teach's side, but got a couple 1Ks in the hand in these Borsalinos that you can get rid of. It looks like he's going to do exactly that, get rid of that Borsalino. Now in the secret rare Enel being played out onto the field. He's going to go ahead and look at that top 5 for any card to be able to add into the hand. Looks like has some Lightning Dragons and also Elthor. Elthor going to be the option. Can't get rid of this Vasco shot, but first you got to pitch something, and it looks like Sure is going to be the option. Definitely if this Vasco shot, did he just pass the turn? I think he just passed the turn. Did not allow an opportunity for Vasco shot to be redirected to and resting any of these 6 costs. Especially because we know a 10 cost each can come down onto the field. Very interesting. Both players kind of playing a little bit of cat and mouse at this point. Like Blackbeard hasn't really swung at the life of the Enel as of yet. But Enel, after swinging so much in the beginning, is really holding the brakes. Burgess now an 8,000 power character. Looks like Vasco shot the only option on this full lead as Silver's Rayleigh and Baby 5 hit the bottom of the deck. Is going to go with a My Era Begins. My Era Begins is going to be looking at that top 3. Is going to grab Katarina, Devon, or the full lead. Looks like full lead not going to be the option, and Katarina going into the hand, especially on a Zehaha play, which we don't have right now. Interesting. Is just trying to build up Burgess now at this point. But now because you don't have a Zehaha, what is your game plan? Is your game plan now to play Borsalino? Doesn't want to play the 10 cost teaches yet. Now swings Vasco shot. So the Weenie's over on the teaches side, now going in and swinging, is going to go ahead and take the first 2 life, first from the 5,000 power swing from lead, then the 6,000 power swing from the Vasco shot. Is maybe looking at just like a Borsalino angle. The 8,000 power now at lead. Burgess still 8,000 power right now. 1 card off of being at 9. Yeah, might be trying to now ask him for a couple cards out of hand. Mamaragon being the choice to be able to plus 1,000 power multiple times to go up to 7. Could just be an event like El Thor. Looks like we're eyeing up to be able to get out of that attack, go to 9,000 power. Or wait, yeah. Two ones is 7, and then El Thor is 9. And the judge is forcing him to put the Ohm in the trash. A little bit of over-countering on that mess up, but once you announce something as used as counter for the trash, the judge saying, hey buddy, that's going to be in the trash, so that's a 1K wasted, now taking all of this life. Borsalino is going to be played out onto the field after a handful of swings, puts our Enel player to 1, and we move into his turn. So a little bit of a blunder, losing out on some natural counter for the Enel. And we move into his next turn. Burgess still at 8,000 power. He's got some 10,000 power swings, but with a blocker and 3 life, don't really have a way to be able to get game at this point, especially with a redirect leader effect. Does have a secret rare Enel if he wants to continue searching. but especially with a board that is slowly starting to build up. Gotta wonder, as the Enel, how much time you have in this game. So I was thinking about going ahead and swinging these Enels. Remember, the Vasco shot's still on the field, so we could redirect into it to be able to rest one of these other Enels. And I think we're swinging 10,000 power over at Burgess. $10,000 power at Burgess is going to be the Katarina Devon. And especially because that's the fourth card in the trash. Burgess being at 9, the 2K puts him to 11 to get out of that attack. Yo, what's up, Tony? Still a full 6 Don remaining. Going to be curious to see what he goes with on this turn. No, the 1K counter doesn't necessarily make a difference, I don't think, at this point, but it's definitely something that's like, gross. Tony, I was number 1. I won today. Is going to go with the Reiju play. Reiju coming down onto the field is going to be a 9-cost, 7,000 power blocker, but now Gamma Knife being comboed alongside it is going to go ahead and minus 5,000 power somewhere. It looks like it's going to be the Secret Rare Teach. So eyeing up that Secret Rare Teach. We still have the redirect effect. Now Lightning Beast Kitten going in minusing 1,000 power more is going to try to get rid of this Teach on the field. I think we did 2 kittens, actually. So that's minus 7,000 power in total, making it a 3,000 power character. El Thor now KOing that Teach is going to guarantee the body is removed off the field before any redirects or anything can happen, opting to give the power addition onto Teach. His top life is a random card, yeah. And now it's going to go 10,000 power at the Shiryu. Especially with the redirect effect now going in at Vasco's shot is going to be able to rest that blocker Teach and prevent another swing coming in. Vasco shot resting a 6 cost or less. Lightning Dragon is going to be utilized not necessarily to stun anything, but to be able to draw a card. Take a brick out of the hand. And now leader effect just going in, getting an extra Dawn and swinging 6 or 7. Going in at lead is going to go ahead and take the life of 10 cost each. The third one in the hand. I don't think you need that many, but the Ohm coming in now, going to draw a card. We go off into the Teach's turn. Burgess sitting at 9,000 power, 10,000 power once the full lead stage gets utilized because of all the cards that we've pitched. Is going to go ahead and do exactly that. Is trying to look for right now a Zehaha to be able to combo in with the 10 cost Teach that he has in the hand. And now looking at that top 3, does find Black Vortex. Do we have a Zehaha in the trash? We are grabbing it. Black Vortex being able to grab any trigger card. It looks like we do. Zehaha coming in now is going to be tapping 8 Dawn for this 9 in total. More than likely. Making sure that we have confirmed the amount of Dawn that should be on Teach. And so the Zehaha coming in is going to go ahead, play that 10 cost Teach out onto the field. 10 cost Teach going to be able to go ahead and force the Enel to take the life, now negating the Reiju, more than likely, not making it a blocker anymore. Now with 0 life, going to be swinging in. The 5,000 power swing is going to go ahead with Mamaragon to be able to get out of that attack. Now the 8,000 power swing coming in is going to go ahead with another Mamaragon to be able to draw. Still needs a little bit more. Is going to go 7 with the Reiju. And 9 with the Lightning Beast Kitten. And now the 10,000 power Burgess swing. Divine Departure is going to give you a little bit of wiggle room, but I don't think we have enough counter in this hand. And that's the game. Teach is your champion. Still had a 7,000 power swing potentially with Borsellino if he wanted to, but that was enough to get there and teach the Fukuoka winner, as I so correctly predicted. You can check the VOD to hear me say that I thought Teach was going to win today. Not going to lie, chat. I predicted last week that Blue-Green Luffy was going to win. I predicted this week that Teach was going to win. I'm kind of the best. I don't know. I'm just kidding, chat. I'm not the best. I'm a lucky guesser. A broken clock is right twice a day. Or in this case, once a week. Yeah, that extra card, the extra card counter didn't matter in the end because you can still swing 7 with Borsellino, but it would have gotten out of that 10,000 power attack. Taking the life to trigger the 8-cost Teach in life wasn't the right move? I don't necessarily think so because, like, I don't think he needed to trigger the 8-cost Teach. Because when you get the blocker on the field and then also you get, you still have a redirect and still 2 life. Like, his board wasn't really that threatening. It was a little threatening, but not that threatening. I think you could have maybe gotten away with like another turn potentially. Phew. What did you base your prediction on? Just me following the game intently and also gut feelings. I kind of felt like with heading, I did not expect this necessarily, but I felt like that with Blue-Green Luffy winning last week, there was going to be a bigger target on Blue-Green Luffy. Oh, wait, that was the, that's the old one. They did like a redo. But if you look, like Nami is still 17% of the meta. Well, you guys can't see it right now. Nami was 17% of this tournament. 17.5, and then Anel was 16.6. That's, what is that, 34% of the meta? So a third of your games are going to be a favorable matchup for Teach. And so if the Anels can just bully the Luffys, right, get them off the field, then you're in the clear. So that was kind of like my thinking, but I did not, Grayson, I did not say that. That is, what's the term? Slander. But that is a nice cheat code. That is a nice cheat code. Yeah, 10 cost Teach stops the Reiju. So, like, there's not necessarily like a dire need for the Reiju to leave the field. But yeah, Chad, this was a good championship. Don't sue me. I don't have the money to sue. This was a good championship, Chad. Deck list will be posted shortly from both of these players in Top Cut. Right? I'll be posting in the Discord soon of this Teach list. This Teach list was interesting. Playing Sanwon Wolf, Silver's Rayleigh, and Baby 5 alongside like Burgess, stuff like that. So I'm very curious to see what his deck list was. I'll show you guys that in the Discord. If you want to join the Discord on YouTube, you can join in the description below. It's at the bottom of the description, or on Twitch, you can do !Discord. Thank you all so much for joining me. There was a good amount of you in the stream today. I really appreciate it. The Discord link, do !Discord, WGO. Do that. It is 2:13 a.m. chat. I woke up this morning at 6:30 a.m. for the Japan Expo for you guys. I streamed that. If you haven't seen that VOD, make sure to go check it out. Right? If you haven't seen it yet, I'll link it to you. There were a lot of reveals. There was a lot of really cool stuff that they showcased, and we talked about all the different cards that got revealed. There's the link right there. Go watch it if you need something to do for like 2 hours. But chat, that's going to be all for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I super appreciate you all. As always, you guys are wonderful. You guys are great. You guys are so lovely, and you look so pretty tonight or today, depending on where you are in the world. I am going to go to bed because I'm going to wake up and do a lot of content work tomorrow. And then I got more content stuff that I'm going to do. So chat, thank you again. I appreciate your support. You guys are great. Have a good night. Sleep tight if you're staying up. Be safe. Have a great rest of the day. Have a happy Sunday. Or, well, no, it should be Sunday for everyone right now. So yeah, have a happy Sunday. Thank you all for joining. And